over. Let's hope they give them some funding. They said, I think you got $26 million worth of damage before you get any FEMA funding. Let's find $26 million worth of damage. And there was a house that burned down right next door last night. It got a big fire. They've had an awful time over there. And we're sending a crew over. All the fire departments are sending manpower and engines over to clean up the roads, because the roads are covered with a gooey, thick coating of mud now. And they've got, you can't even go down them. So what we're doing is bringing all the fire department engines over and hosing down the roads to get rid of that mud. And let's hope Silver Creek recovers fully, and God bless you in Silver Creek. I know most people don't have flood insurance, so let's hope you get a little government help. And the Silver Creek seniors over there, I just wanted to mention something here. They have a Mount Carmel Senior Citizen Center over there. The president's name is Tomio. Thelma Hilliker does the minutes, and Chaplain Morabito read a prayer called Solutions, and I'm hoping they get some solutions over there. They have a next meeting coming up in Silver Creek at the Mount Carmel Seniors. It'll be August 19th, and it's the annual sausage and corn roast. So get in touch with the Mount Carmel crowd, and if you don't already belong to one. There's also another one that has a beautiful meeting house over there in Silver Creek, and I hope they're not inundated. It's just a disaster scene, and seniors over there hope things work well. And don't forget, go down and get your lifetime hunting fishing license if you're 65 or older. Otherwise, it's going to cost you a bundle. I'm going to take a little break, just a moment of public service announcement for you. This is for you and for your benefit and well-being, and we will bring on the Geezer. Yeah. Okay, here we are. The Geezer, he shoots from the hip. Mort Flexler, you're on.
Good morning, Reed. Good morning to our guests, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. In 1982, while I was the administrator of the Westfield Memorial Hospital, one of my new friends from Westfield was admitted with terminal cancer. He felt that the care that he received would be overseen by God, and that dying was a test from God. So he absolutely refused care, and for 2 weeks the nurses were asking could they please take care of someone else, and I had to visit him every day. I couldn't let him down. He was a friend. But it seemed like every time he moved, he broke a bone or did some other damage to himself and continued to refuse care. Finally, he went into a coma, and we still couldn't do anything for him because he had never given us permission, excuse me. And he finally died. Well, the story is brought back forcefully to me by the opposition to the president's health care plan because allegedly, and incorrectly, by the way, people think it's going to require that they end their lives if there's no chance of recovery. That simply is not the case. The President's plan provides that if you are terminally ill and you do not want to continue with the pain, you may consult with someone, and if you so decide, you may end your life. That's not a terrible thing, and that's such a personal decision. I don't see how in the heck anyone would want to interfere with it. But in any event, there is just so much nonsense going around about the President's desire to reorganize our healthcare system. Having spent nearly 40 years in it, and having retired about 20 years ago, I can tell you that over the last 60 years, there have been very few changes in our then antiquated system. It still stinks. It still needs a heck of a lot of improvement. And while I can't say I'm thoroughly familiar with what the President is proposing, there's no sense getting upset about it now. Time to get upset is if you still feel opposed to it at the time it's introduced and you've had a chance to read it and understand what is going to happen. That's fine. I have no argument with you. Although I suspect that I will support it, if not completely, almost completely. Reed, thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I don't know what these people are objecting to that are rioting. Most of the plan is basically reforming the system, and including, we're the only country in the world where every other country in the world, a developed country, every single citizen gets free health care. You go into a hospital if you need help, you go to a doctor if you need help. And they're trying to say, well, you have to wait for 3 years. Baloney! That's utter nonsense. If you have something that they have two kinds of care, of course, as we do here in the HMO. You have urgent care, meaning you got to get something done right now, and they do it right now. Or you have just this ordinary care, which is routine care, they call it. Like if you have a little hearing loss, you might have to wait a couple months to get a hearing test, even in the HMOs here. If you got an earache, they take care of you immediately. That's the difference between urgent and routine care. So they're trying to scare you to death, especially when they tell us they're going to have these extermination camps for seniors, whatever they're going to do to seniors. They're going to kill all the seniors, they tell us. That's utter BS! Could I say crap on television?
I think so.
That's okay. John Crapper actually developed the crapper. So at any rate, well, what's wrong with the program? First of all, it says they cannot raise you insanely. They've got to start cutting the big fat salaries, among other things, and all the medical paperwork. They have this 50 times the paperwork as Canada does because of all this crazy, this 1,400 or 1,600, depending on whose figures you believe, different insurance companies to insure your health, where you give them the money and they take 30% of it for profits and expenses. And then they dole out what's left. Give me a break. So they cannot raise you insanely anymore. Our health care costs have been jumping between 6 and 10% every year. Everybody's making money. They're cleaning us out, though. Secondly, they can't reject you because you had a previous illness. That's in the law now that they're proposing. That's absurd. They say, oh, sorry, Mr. Powers, we cannot give you health and care insurance because you've had in the past hepatitis or some darn fool thing. Thirdly, they cannot kick you out once you get sick, which they can do now, and do companies. There are a whole lot of other restrictions now that make your healthcare system a little more modern and a little bit better. Yes, they're not going to have an MRI in every hospital, which is insane. They cost millions of dollars. And they give 2 MRIs a month or something. They're going to have one in the central hospital where you can go over and get your MRI if you need one. These are little things that are going to save you zillions and zillions of dollars. And most importantly of all, 50 million Americans have no health insurance. This is outrageous. We're the only country in the world who doesn't have health insurance for all. And the worst part is there's another 30 million Americans, according to the federal statistics, who have very little health insurance and who will